On this 2010 to 2015 Honda Civic, B1229 is for an open in the sunlight sensor circuit. In plain terms, the climate control unit may not be seeing the sunlight sensor signal correctly. The customer may notice the automatic climate control acting a little off, especially when cabin temperature correction depends on sun load. The possible fault areas are the sunlight sensor itself, the tune signal wire, the sensor COM wire, connector fit or terminal condition, and only after the circuit checks pass, the climate control unit. We are going to work this in order and let each result decide the next move. Start by clearing the DTC with the HDS. Turn the ignition switch to lock 0, then back to on Roman 2. Run the self-diagnostic with the HDS or with the climate control unit, then check for codes again. If the B1229 fault comes back, keep going with the sunlight sensor check. If it does not come back, treat it as an intermittent failure and inspect for loose wires or poor connections in the sunlight sensor circuit before going any deeper. Next, test the sunlight sensor. If the sensor checks OK, move on to the wiring checks. If the sunlight sensor does not check OK, replace the sunlight sensor. Do not condemn the control unit before this sensor check is handled. Now check the tune circuit for an open. Turn the ignition switch to lock 0. Disconnect the climate control unit 32P connector. At the sunlight sensor, disconnect the 7P connector if the vehicle has automatic lighting or the 2P connector if it does not. Check continuity on the tune wire between the climate control unit 32P connector terminal No. 21 per and the sunlight sensor terminal No. 2 per. That terminal No. 2 applies whether the sensor connector is the 7P version or the 2P version. If there is continuity, the tune wire is OK and you move to the sensor COM check. If there is no continuity, repair the open in the wire between the climate control unit and the sunlight sensor. With the connectors still disconnected and the ignition switch at lock 0, check the sensor COM circuit. On vehicles with automatic lighting, check continuity between the climate control unit 32P connector terminal No. 20, red, and the sunlight sensor 7P connector terminal No. 3, red. On vehicles without automatic lighting, check continuity between the climate control unit 32P connector terminal No. 20, red, and the sunlight sensor 2P connector terminal No. 1, red. If there is no continuity, repair the open in the wire between the climate control unit and the sunlight sensor. If there is continuity, the sensor COM wire is OK. At that point, with the sunlight sensor already checked OK and both circuit paths showing continuity, replace the climate control unit. After the sensor, wiring, or control unit issue has been addressed, use the same clear and self-diagnostic routine to verify the repair and confirm the B1229 fault stays gone. The takeaway is simple. Verify the code first, check the sunlight sensor, prove the tune and sensor COM wires, and only then make the control unit call. For more diagnostic training, visit stepdiagnostics.com.